Welcome to your yoga practice. This is Christine, and I'll be your guide. Thank you for practicing with me today. I'm just finishing up my 24 ounces of water. This is an old salsa jar. You can use anything you've got around. I recommend drinking 20 ounces of water before you begin any practice. But today we're doing the joint freeing series. It's even more important there because the whole idea is to bring circulation and into the joints and to take it away so that you can clear out all of those byproducts of living and loving and healing and walking and everything you do in your life. So cheers, water. That's how important I think it is. Have another one of those after you're done. This is a practice that you can use to front other practices to warm up, or it can be completely by itself, in which case you'll want to follow it with Shavasana. It's going to take us between 15 and 20 minutes, so your Shavasana should be at least 10% of total practice time, total release. Okay. The props that you'll want, you may want a blanket to support your sitting bones in the seated positions. And then I always recommend an eye pillow for your Shavasana. Other than that, you're good to go. So if you're using a blanket, perch your sitting bones on that blanket and find your comfortable seat. Start with the knees bent. It's really helpful to be able to find the sitting bones pointing straight down. And then you can extend the legs out from there. We're going to begin with the ankles. Support the core by reaching the hands back and lifting the heart. We're going to inhale, point the toes, and exhale. Spread the toes and draw them back. 6 times each. Exhale. Now, the next thing we're going to do is called aversion and eversion. You're going to inhale and draw the pinky toe side of your foot back. Notice the knees don't move. And then exhale and close from the pinky toe side of the foot. Inhale back and exhale forward. There's nothing magic about 6. So if you lose count, you might go over. Next, we're going to circle. I like to start over and to the left. Inhale back and to the right. And exhale away. Now, when you reach your starting point, reverse. And now, we're up to the knees, next joint of the body. So inhale, lift the heart. On your next inhale, extend the heel. Exhale back. Notice the spine is lifted. Core is engaged. You can hold back here, or if you're feeling strong, hold out here. Inhale away. Exhale, hug the other knee in. Reaffirm that core strength. Don't push it at first. You'll notice more range of motion open up through your 6 breaths. Now we're up to the hips. The first one we'll do in a seated position, so reach back, engage, and support the core, and lift one heel. Now, if this is too much, you can do this, dragging the heel along the ground. As you gain strength and mobility, you'll want to lift that heel so that it's moving frictionless. Exhale, toes in, feet together. Inhale, toes out, feet apart. Exhale, toes in, feet together. And then the next side. Rotation comes from high in the thigh, up inside the hip, where the femur meets the pelvis. Now, we're going to do the rest of the hips from all fours. So, feel the support of the earth coming up and into the body. Now, on an inhale, lift the tail, drop the belly and chest. Feel the shoulder blades coming together over the rib cage, not up toward the ears, and look up. Exhale, feel the shoulder blades slide down and around. Bring the awareness into the hip joint. Inhale, dog tilt. Exhale, wave up. Wave from the pelvic floor into the psoas. The speed with which you breathe dictates the speed with which you do the movements. Inhale to center. Now make sure that you've got room out behind you to extend the legs. Bring the knees together. We're going to do one leg at a time now. On an exhale, bring the left knee in. Inhale back, toes down. Hips are level. One hip is not lifted over the other. Hips are level, toes are down. You can lift the heel higher than the pelvis, but not lift the pelvis. Okay, exhale in. Inhale back to neutral and then exhale. Right knee. If you get lost with the breath, just reset. You want to try breathing in the opposing pattern, that is exhaling back, inhaling knee in. You can try that and see how it feels in your body. In general, when you're compressing the abdominals and lifting the spine is a good place to exhale. But try it. Do what you do intentionally. Inhale back to center. Now, we're going to stretch through the sides of the hips and flank. Exhale, lower the hips off to one side. Inhale to center and exhale to the other side. Notice we're not twisting. We're not dropping down. We are stabilizing through the front of the body and the core. Now you were doing it with good form while I was demonstrating what not to do. So you're probably through 6. So the next thing that we're going to do is prepare for the hand and arm series. Sit back on the heels. Now, as you know, everything is optional. So you can use a block to support you. You can use that blanket behind the thighs on top of the shins, or you can choose any other seat if this is too intense for any reason. Sometimes that's because of the knees, sometimes it's because of the ankles. Virasana is a very supportive seat, and it's helpful to compress the tissues that are closest to the ground because we spend all day sort of draining things down and into them. So to compress them helps it return into general circulation, be filtered by the thymus, which lies over the breastbone here, and then also for the blood to be filtered with the kidneys and the liver, and to come back into where all of the central organs can do their jobs. So stay in this position for as little or as long as feels good in your body. And then inhale up. Arms parallel to the floor. Shoulders relaxed. So try bending those elbows for a minute. And then we're going to inhale. Spread the fingers and draw them back. Exhale. Keep your arms forward. I'm going to show you what your fingers are doing. Your fingers are pointing back to you. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, palms up. Now, next inhale, thumb side of the hand comes back. Exhale in. Much like with the knees, you want to stabilize the joints north of the one that you're paying attention to. Remember, our whole purpose here is to bring circulation and prana, our attention, our life energy, into each joint of the body in its turn. So paying attention to the wrists. Now we're on to circles. So bend the elbows there for a second, release any upper body tension, and then light fists, inhale up and exhale under. After your third, reverse. And then we're up to the elbows. Turn the palms up. You're going to point the fingers back to you so that the knuckles touch down to the shoulders. Next time the knuckles are on the shoulders, we're into the shoulders. Inhale apart and exhale together. This time, inhale out. We're going to turn the upper arm bone inside of the shoulder joint. I call this scarecrow arms. Exhale down. Okay, now inhale with the arms straight, thumbs come back, and exhale down, back, and up. Okay, now we're to the spine. We're going to end up with the neck. So for the spine, you're going to sit in easy seat or cross-legged pose. I still like to do this on a blanket. You can choose to do so or not. So from an easy cross-legged pose, Sukhasana, bring the hands to the fronts of the knees. Now, inhale, scoop that sternum forward. See if you can feel a long line of stretch from the front of your sacrum to the back of your sternum. Inhale, dog toe. Exhale, cat back. Good. Inhale to center. If you want, you can switch which foot is forward. We'll go back and forth. If one knee comes up, feel free to put something under it. Now, hands down to the floor on either side of the spine, lateral flexion. So you're going to imagine the spine going back and forth like this. Allow the head to stay in generally the same plane and the gaze to be gently forward. You're going to notice that if one knee does come up when you switch sides, it'll come down over time. Exhale. Remember that yoga works through micro movements. Exhale. So what I mean by over time is it may be over a few breaths. It may be over a few practices. Some things will be over a few months. Inhale here and exhale. And other things will be over a few years. That's brilliant though. You will always discover newness in your body. Now we're going to twist the spine. So inhale and lengthen. Now you're going to inhale to one side. So all of this is being done with the deep core muscles. And then you're going to exhale, place a little bit, a comfortable amount of pressure on the back of that knee and into the back hand. Inhale, use those deep core muscles, and exhale into the twist. You can use any part of this sequence or the entire thing. For instance, if you're having trouble with your wrists in down dog sequences, you can do the wrist part, the hand, forearm, and wrist part of the joint frame series before you begin. If you're having back pain, sometimes this spine series is helpful. The hip series is as well. Inhale back to center, and now we're up to the neck. This is great after a long day. I break the first one down into two potentials. We're going to start with the smallest movement possible at the top of the spine. So your atlas vertebrae, the very top vertebrae of your spine, is the one that your skull sits on, and it sits kind of like this, more towards the back. And your jaw would be up here. So what we're going to seek to do is to glide over that. So we're not going to be flexing the neck forward. Rather, bring your thumbs right behind the angle of the jaw and the first fingers right up and under the bump at the bottom of your skull. Now, inhale. Drop the bottom of your skull onto the index finger and look up. Exhale, rotate over the thumbs, look down. Looking for just the movement of the skull for this first series. Good. Now, release the hands. You can do that completely without the hands once you get used to the feeling of the motion. Now this one, inhale, elongate the back of the spine so you are slightly extending it backward. Only a comfortable amount, and never close down the back of the neck. Exhale, flex gently forward. Not important that the chin comes to the chest. Good. Lateral flexion. Inhale at center and exhale. One ear toward one shoulder. Not closing down, but extending out. Inhale and exhale to the opposite side. Final motion. We're going to rotate. So from center, exhale and look over one shoulder. Inhale to center, exhale over the other one. Notice any tendency for the shoulders to want to shrug, and simply allow them, invite them to relax. Inhaling to center and exhaling. Inhale back to center. You are warmed up, energized, prana-ized. Your joints are juicy and have circulation that they're going to need to get through the day or to encourage repair at the end of the day. You can proceed with a stronger practice. You can come down to Shavasana now. Remember, water, 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 water. So important for the body. And your body is the way that you express you into the world. So much respect. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.